Hi, my name's Melissa. I'm a guest service supervisor at Canobie Lake Park, and my biggest takeaway today is a small act of kindness can go a long way in helping create a wow moment for a guest or an employee.
Woohoo! Are you ready for the podcast? Yes!
Welcome to AttractionPros Live!
Woo! Here we go. Nice, nice. Well, Josh, where are we?
We are in the beautiful, historic dance hall at Canobie Lake Park.
That's right, Canobie Lake Park.
Matt, what are we doing here?
We have just spent the entire day with the amazing leaders from NEAAPA. Now, what does NEAAPA stand for, you might ask? Do you know?
I think I do know.
Okay. Well, tell us, what does it stand for?
The Northeastern Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions.
There you go, absolutely. So we've had the opportunity to spend the day with the folks here from NEAAPA, representing amusement parks, theme parks, zoos, aquariums, everything across the New England region. And now we get to do what we love to do, and that is to tap into the wisdom of the people in the room.
Yes, it is so great to record a podcast in person. We're usually doing this on Zoom. We're in a Zoom meeting, but we had a different kind of Zoom meeting earlier today.
We did. We got to ride the Yankee Cannonball. Who enjoyed riding the Yankee Cannonball? Loved it, loved it. So big thanks to Canobie Lake Park for allowing us to do that. So we had a great time with the on-ride Zoom meeting, if you will, for our time together earlier. But now, again, we get to tap into the wisdom of the people in this room. And before we took a break, we did a lot of stuff, right? We talked about a lot of stuff today. We've talked about the dream review. We've talked about understanding feedback. We've talked about wow moments. We've talked about all kinds of things that can help you with the intersection of the guest and employee experience. And now what we want to do is understand what it is that you can do that will help you figure out how to do that this season.
So like you mentioned, we have been here all day. We have covered a lot of amazing topics and have just had a phenomenal conversation with everybody here. Amazing questions, amazing insights. There is no shortage of wisdom in this room across the entire Northeast region here for everyone at NEAAPA.
So what we are going to do is, again, we are going to look to you to help our listeners and help each other figure out our next steps from here. Because, again, we've talked about a lot of things. We asked you about your main takeaways, the things that you want to implement right away. And that is going to be the springboard for our conversation this afternoon. So we're going to ask you about some of those things you're going to commit to. And, again, this will not only help the people in the room, but also all the people who are listening to the podcast.
Yes. So right before this break, we asked you all to write down your #1 takeaway for the day. What is the one thing that you are leaving this session thinking about that you know that you'll be able to use this summer across your parks and your attractions? And we want to hear, well, we want to hear all of them. But in the interest of time, we want to hear as many as we can to know what it is that you're going to do to ensure that 2022 is the best summer ever.
So, Josh, we've got a volunteer right here. Colin wants to go first.
Colin, let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it.
Round of applause for Colin.
So we're going to ask you to share your name and what facility you're from before you share your answer. So take it away.
Right. Hello, podcast. My name is Colin Sargent, and I am one of the managers for Sodexo Live at Canobie Lake Park. And the biggest takeaway I had from today was the saying, consistency leads to predictability, which is very important because the more consistent you are at work, the happier your guests will be.
Perfect. Love it.
Excellent.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you for going first.
Yeah,
I know it's a big deal. Big deal to go first. We have Chris over here who's very excited to share his takeaway for the day.
Always excited. Thank you, Josh. Hi, yeah, so my name is Chris. As you guys know, I'm the operations manager at Funtown Splashtown USA. And I think one really important thing to remember is that guests are people and employees are people. If you don't understand people, you don't understand our industry. We sell experiences to both, and one without the other is absolutely impossible. If you don't have happy and healthy staff, then you can't take care of your Without happy and healthy staff, you can't take care of your guests. And if you don't have happy and satisfied guests, then you have no one for your team to take care of.
Excellent. Love it. Let's give Chris a round of applause. Nice. Now we have Angelo up here.
Hi, I'm Angelo. I'm the Rides Personnel Supervisor at Canobie Lake Park. And the biggest takeaway for me from today is all about the SOI feedback method, with SOI standing for Standard, Observation, and Impact. And I think what I love about the SOI feedback is that it actually provides a standard itself for being able to deliver feedback. And feedback is one of the most important things when it comes to helping our team members do a great job in these parks and making them want to continue to do a great job within these parks.
Excellent. Thank you, Angelo. Give Angelo a round of applause.
All right, we've got Giovanna in the back here.
Hi, I'm Giovanna. I'm from Southwick Zoo. And one of my biggest takeaways that was the idea that we all have an impact no matter if we recognize it or not, and that as an employee and as a guest, we're more alike than different. So it's always important to take a step back and empathize in difficult situations and realize that more often than not, as human beings, we all want the same thing, and that's to be happy, be safe, and have a good time.
Right.
Excellent.
Round of applause for Giovanna. Absolutely.
Thank you. Mike wants to go next.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm from Danbury, Connecticut. I work at Extreme Play. I'm the operations supervisor. I learned that negative interactions can actually be seen as a positive thing. There are opportunities to engage, change a negative review to a positive review, and change the course of their experience. Also, they're information and fuel for any future engagements where you run into any of the same issues.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Big round of applause.
All right, we've got Andrew in the back here. Andrew.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I work for the SSA group at Roger Williams Park Zoo. And I think that the one thing that I would take away from today is to be coachable. Allow yourself to learn from people, ask questions, and never be afraid to make mistakes.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you, Andrew.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I'm a guest service supervisor at Canobie Lake Park, and my biggest takeaway today is a small act of kindness can go a long way in helping create a wow moment for a guest or an employee.
Excellent. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it.
All right, I need a volunteer. All right, I see another one in the back. All right, Brianna.
Yes. Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm also from Southwick. Something is just to be open-minded and obviously listening and go into things and look at things in a positive perspective. If you're positive, others will also be. Emotions are so reflective.
Awesome. Thanks, Brianna.
All right, so I'm Camille. I am a games group leader at Canobie, and try to create a positive wow moment for a team member or a guest every day that you can.
Excellent. Love the consistency of doing it every single day.
Yes. All right, I've got Robert here.
Hi, I'm Rob from Interstate 91. We're a roller skating center in Western Massachusetts. And yeah, focusing again on these wow moments, that it could be something simple, something small. It doesn't have to cost anything, but really looking for that opportunity to surprise and delight your guests or your employees. And, you know, it really can go a long way. It'll have an impact on them that will last a lot longer than you expect.
All right. Well said. Thank you, Robert.
All right, hello. My name is Ken. I'm one of the security supervisors. I would say the biggest thing for me is just when you wake up, just say hello to everybody. Just try to be courteous as soon as you walk in, especially your coworkers. None of us really want to work. If we can get $1 million, we would, and sit at home, but we have to be here. So I would start off with the coworkers first. If I say hello, I expect to get something back. I don't need to be your friend, but at least say hello back.
All right, I've got Samantha back here.
Hi, I'm Samantha from Southwick Zoo. I think it's important to do what you can to make both your guests and employees feel valued, and this can be just listening to them and making sure that you try to help them in the best way you can, but also encouraging your employees to do better and helping them and giving them feedback.
Thank you, Samantha.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm a retail supervisor at Canobie Lake Park, and my biggest takeaway was going beyond transactions and creating an emotional experience for people, and that can really just make their whole day.
Thank you, Emily. Nice.
All right, let's hear from Giselle.
Hi, my name is Giselle. I am from the SSA group, and we are at the Roger Williams Park Zoo. I feel like something that really stuck with me today was the last model. I feel like it's very important to see both from the customer side and the guest side and the employee side. We're making sure our employees are well taken care of, that they're being heard, everything that they tell us we're trying to take into accountability. I think that happy employees equal happy guests.
Awesome. Thanks, Giselle.
Hi, my name is Lexi. I'm a supervisor for Sodexo Live at Canobie Lake Park, and my biggest takeaway that you can take a 1-star review and turn it into a 5-star review with just how you treat and talk to a guest and really try to make sure that they have the best day even out of a negative situation.
Awesome. Thank you, Lexi.
Yes, excellent. All right, we have Tyler back here.
This is similar to what she just said, but more on the team member side. So my biggest takeaway is talk to your team members, don't treat them like people, and try to come back to them as often as you can, and try to make their day as enjoyable as possible to the best of your ability.
Thank you, Tyler.
Hello, I'm Alex Fitzgerald. I'm a rides group leader here at Canobie Lake Park. My biggest takeaway was talking about guest complaints in those hard situations. And the goal is never to win in a guest complaint. It's not an argument. Even though there are rules and regulations that we must follow as a park, the goal is to mend that situation and give a guest a good experience.
Well said.
Nice.
All right, let's hear from Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm a supervisor at Galliford's Restaurant and Tavern at the Southwick Zoo. One thing that I really took away here is employee burnout. That is a big thing that happens a lot. And the way we can prevent it is actually to talk to them, hear their feedback when they're starting, when they're also mid-shift or like mid-time working with you, and not just when they're exiting. So that way you can hear how to make their experience better, because if their experience is good, they'll make the experience for the guest even better.
Yes. Thank you, Grace.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a entertainment lead here at Canobie Lake Park. One of my biggest takeaways from this whole thing was almost dealing with, whether it be an upset team member or a guest, kind of building that experience is not really having a team member and guest connection, but a person-to-person connection, and putting their perspective and how you would feel to make that experience better for them, and getting an understanding of what you can do to make their day a little bit better.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I am a rides lead at Funtown Splashtown USA. And the biggest thing that I took away today would be from the soy model, especially with the impact part. And it's just that everything that we do will have an impact on someone else.
Nicely said. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Trinity. I am an entertainment supervisor here with Canobie Lake Park. So my biggest takeaway today was using the last model, which is listen, apologize, solve, and thank, when handling complaints, whether it's a guest or team member, to help grow the company and make, like Ella said, person-to-person interactions. And just remember that you always want to give something, even if it's not tangible or monetary, that just encourages guests to return and make sure team members stay happy.
I'm Vicki Staples. I'm the Retail and Admissions Manager at Water Country in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. One of my big takeaways was when you're looking at the feedback cycle, the solution isn't always the opposite of the problem. Sometimes you have to dig down deeper to find something you can solve.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hills. I'm a game supervisor here at Canobie Lake Park, and my biggest takeaway was to always thank guests for complaints, even though you might not always assume that that's the best thing to do, because sometimes they just want to be acknowledged, and thanking them will help them let down their guard a little bit and kind of give you better feedback as well.
Sarah.
Woo.
Hi, I'm Kalen, another rides lead at Funtown Splashtown USA. The big thing I got today is feedback's everywhere. Even the littlest amount of feedback might be your best feedback.
Nicely said. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Josh. This has been an awesome experience for me, and I hope for my team too. I've really taken an awful lot away. But I think one of the first things that I wrote down was what Josh was talking about, that 93% of prospective guests are informed by online reviews, and that one negative review can turn away close to 30 people or potentially 30 families. So just making the most and taking every opportunity that we can. You know, we talked a little bit about poor guest service experiences and how we can turn that experience around for our guests, and just how impactful that could be for the entire business. So that's what that and a lot of other things is what I took away from today.
I'm Mike. I'm a retail group leader at Canobie Lake Park. My biggest takeaway was that it's absolutely important that you're actively listening to guest complaints as they're going on, and making sure you can resolve the situation properly.
All right. It's like doing the wave.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the aquatics manager at Canobie Lake Park. One of the things that I am going to take away from today is really thinking about a wow moment, I guess in a different way than I have in the past. In the past, I've just been like, you know, every week I'm going to do one wow moment or whatever, something like that. But really, it's something that you should strive to do in like almost every interaction you have. It's something that guests and also team members will remember. Something little that you might not think is super significant could be really, really significant to a team member or a guest. So really just making those wow moments count and making them more often.
Thank you, Jenny.
All right, hey, my name is Ian. I'm a local concession supervisor here at Canobie, and the biggest thing I took away is the wow factor. A guest might not remember the full day, but if they leave that core positive memory, they'll be able to carry that with them forever, and they're always going to have that reoccurring theme of this is the good time that happened at Canobie.
Nicely said. Thank you, Ian.
Who else has something? Okay, Justin, coming over. Here we go.
I'm Justin. I'm the rides manager at Canobie Lake Park. One of the big takeaways I took away from today is that everyone wants to help and everyone needs help. So whether it's your first day in the industry or your 20th year, never be afraid to ask for help.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Bree. I'm one of the entertainment supervisors at Canobie Lake Park. One of the takeaways I have taken away today is that there are these moments of truth that we may think are these huge aha moments when interacting with guests and team members, but these moments of truth are every time that we interact with a guest or team member, not just those huge monumental moments.
Awesome. Thank you, Bree.
Yeah, so my name's Tim. I am the rides assistant personnel manager here at Canobie Lake Park. And the biggest thing I took away from today is to listen to understand and not to respond. This tip is obviously particularly helpful when dealing with upset team members or guests. If the guest or team member feels understood, they're more likely to allow you to help them. The guest has to allow you to help them in order to solve that situation. And if they feel like they're not being understood or heard, they're going to shut you down right away. And that situation is going to end pretty quickly.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I'm the warehouse manager for Sodexo Live at Canobie Lake Park. And I just want to say about the intersection of guest and employee experience, because that was the whole theme of today's lecture, sort of, I don't know. But I didn't realize how much that the guests are like team members. I always thought like the team members were the people on my side, and we were trying to navigate the day and have everybody have a great experience. But I now notice like team members and guests are very similar in how you talk to them and deal with them.
Excellent. Thank you, Lucas.
I'm Kenzie. I'm the aquatic supervisor at Canobie Lake Park. And one of my takeaways today was that positive feedback is just as important, if not even more important, than the negative feedback. Especially at the beginning of the season, we don't want to just stop giving positive feedback just because it's the beginning. It helps people get through their day, and it's really helpful for them to keep doing what they're doing if they know that they're doing it right.
Awesome. Thank you, Kenzie. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hello, I'm James. I'm the event manager at Roger Williams Park Zoo. One thing that we touched base on today was the idea of employee burnout. One of the most important things to prevent this and combat this is to make sure not only you are realigning the purpose of the organization back to the employee, but that they are felt heard and understood.
Excellent. Thank you, James. Thank you, James.
All right.
I love hearing those takeaways about burnout.
Absolutely. Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah.
I think one of your books is floating around here too.
I think it might be. Yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So we have heard from a lot of folks about a lot of really interesting things. How about a big round of applause for everybody who shared? Nicely done.
Cool. Yeah. Anybody else? Is there anybody else who hasn't gone yet who would still like to share? If not, that's okay too. I think we heard from a very good chunk of people in the room. Matt, what would you say your biggest takeaway was?
I think my biggest takeaway is that the industry is in good hands. I look around the room and I think about the people who are taking over in various leadership roles and moving through different organizations. And I think we are really in good hands. There's so many great minds in this room and so many people who I think get it. Mm-hmm. You know, when I think about the things that make leaders successful, so much of it is about how you interact with your team, how you interact with your guests. And I've loved working with the folks in this room to make sure that you have that tool, that mindset, but a lot of you already came with it. And so this was a refresher for you, maybe kind of guiding you just in a little bit of the right space. But I really am thrilled for the future of this industry.
Absolutely, very well said, and I'll echo your comment that you said so many people get it, and there is so much passion in this room for everything that you all do, from serving your guests and from serving your team members, and it truly is aligned. It truly is very similar practices for what you do from a leadership standpoint, from all of your employees to the way that you serve your guests, and for those who you are serving, the way they serve their guests as well. So it is very much an intersection between guest and employee experience, and we genuinely feel like it's the same thing. The approach is exactly the same. Would you all tend to agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. So with that, we are bringing our day together to a close. We are bringing our podcast to a close. And again, we want to thank each and every one of you for your time, your attention, your dedication, and your passion. So give everybody a round of applause. You all deserve it.
And we genuinely hope that you all have a phenomenal summer, making 2022 the best year ever. At the beginning of the day, we asked you all to write down your dream review, identifying what the ideal guest experience would look like and what the ideal employee experience would look like. And if you were to go home and you were to pull up TripAdvisor and you were to read what guests are saying about coming and visiting your park, what is the ultimate situation? So your job now is to go and craft that and create those wow moments for your guests as well as your employees who are coming to visit you.
And as we bring this to a close, there's something that we do at the end of every episode, and that is that we say, "We are all Attraction Pros." Nicely done. Woo!
Thanks for listening to the Attraction Pros podcast.
Make sure to subscribe so you can tune in when new episodes release, and even better, please leave us a review on iTunes.
For more information, visit AttractionPros.com.